Hi, Thomas. Nice that I can talk to you finally, actually. Looks like you've been very busy these days.
Yes. Hi, Jean Luc. Nice to meet you here in our Zoom suite. So, yes, enjoying it. So, welcome.
Okay, thank you. Well, actually, the point that I wanted to talk to you about is your Global Village Leaders Club. Now, Global Village Leaders Club. And and then there is this other word that you've been using a lot of time when we were met last time, which is masterclass. So, we are both have been in sales before. Give me this 1-minute pitch on your program. What is actually the Global Village Leader Club?
Okay. The Global Village Leaders Club is a place online where you can meet with a peer group, 4 to 6 people, and you are there to discover your hidden talents and work on them so that you become fully engaged at work. And the byproduct might even be that you become outstanding, you become remarkable. So it's really the quest for people to maybe find what they've been looking for. And this is, in a way, comfortably done online, but it's still a very intense and stretching class. It goes over 4 weeks.
Okay, 4 weeks, so it's a pretty long program. So let's suppose for a minute that I would be one of your participants in this masterclass. What are actually my benefits in joining this masterclass from a private point of view, but also from a job point of view?
Okay, I could probably think of quite a longer list, but I'll give you a few ones that come to mind. So for example, at work, it's really having more clarity. You are much more goal-focused, and you also look at your process. So for example, the Global Village Leaders Club has a goal, and you work over 4 weeks on that goal in a peer group. And you need to make sure with your peers that your time is used in the best way to get the job done. So in 48-hour sequences, there's input, there's feedback, there is clarification, and you learn from the feedback. So that means this development that we do in the masterclass will transform your behavior, your thinking and your acting at work. So it's really linked. Privately, hopefully, because you are more efficient, not wasting resources, and you are more driven by what really excites you, which is the search for the talent, that also means that you get more done in less time and you come home earlier and hopefully more energized, because you stop doing what you dislike and search for contributing what you're really good at. And my hope is that your business environment will change over time because you make that change happen.
That's an interesting one. I think my wife is probably going to like this one. Okay, come home earlier. I think this is probably music to her ears. So I understood it's actually an online program, but you didn't really tell me in details how it works. So can you give me a word on that? How does it actually work? Where do I start? How do I attend? The whole stuff.
Okay. So I mentioned this already before, Tuesday night, Thursday night, Sundays. These are the live sessions. We've got 3 hours, and on a Sunday, even 6 hours, which is not little, but you'll be pleased what you get done in 6 hours in a group. In between, there is a Slack chat format where all of you are connected so the creative juices can still flow back and forth, ideas that you have. Your work progress is posted either on a shared document, if you want it private, or on a WordPress blog site, if you decide to do that, every 48 hours. So the progress that you make with pursuing your goal, you share with your peers. After the live sessions, you work on it, you publish it. Then you get feedback. So everyone has to give open and honest, brutally honest feedback on everyone else's work, almost overnight, 24 hours time window you have. So then you find feedback on your progress, and then you have to look at it, reflect it, and even redo your work. So Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. So you can see how it flows. And once the idea really crystallizes, it's really like, okay, this is what I'm good at. This is how I can put it forward at work. This could be my pitch to my stakeholders. This could be maybe a podcast that I wrap around it. This could be the story that whatever comes up, there's a different path of different people finding their talents. But it really is practical related. It's solid. This is not just philosophy. It's very practical discussions and challenging. Okay, how can you make this fly? Pitch me. One peer says to the other, don't know. Yeah, start to think. So it's very lively. There is a coach there all the time in the live sessions. Why is that? Because it's not because the coach is in the lead, the coach facilitates, the coach observes, and there is certain cuts. Let's say every 60 minutes there's a cut and there's a feedback. What happened? What helped? What hindered? What did I see? How do you feel about it? To make sure it is productive. So we don't leave them on their own.
Okay, so it seems to be a pretty work-intense program, and a whole month actually, spending from Tuesday action to actually Sunday big work. I hear it's online, but there's also coaching. I believe there's going to be a lot of interference between the program and my work. So I would almost say, is there a way that your program will support the work back at my company?
Yeah, ideally it does. Even if the person in the peer group works on a complete different project, but I think there's several work-related outcomes. First of all, it could very well be that because of the clarity that you get, we assess your brain dominance, we look at your emotional intelligence profile, we look at your strength finder, and because of that, it might be that you are reconfirmed, you are at your right path at work. This is the career you should be following. So that gives you different energy when you walk into the building in the morning. You can still you learn business skills and people skills, but you know you're on track. Second outcome could be that you feel you are in the right company, but not in the right role. So now you basically raise your hand and you say, I would like to do this, I can do that. You put yourself forward. So that could have a big impact. Rather than waiting for a job post, you say, some people even create their own new job contribution. So that could be an outcome. Maybe you discover that ultimately you need a career change. That could be a realization. Well, better now than in 10 years of misery down the line. So then you could speak to your manager, your other people around you, and look, what is the transition looking like? It could also be that you have a complete different passionate project you always wanted to launch. You launch it privately, and that gives you totally different energy also at work, because you've got something exciting that the job can't give you. So it's a little bit of this scenarios that I can see as possible outcomes.
So I see it's like an interweaved program. On one side, I'm going to learn something personally, and on the other side, it's going to support my work at the company, right?
And one thing there is, where does it even come from? I mean, you and I, we share 20, 30 years of working in corporations with individuals and teams. And sometimes people are a little bit stuck and they don't know how to get unstuck. And then they almost wait for something to happen rather than take initiative. So the idea is really to become proactive, see more with open eyes what could be possible, and make it work for you in your business environment and also privately. And rather than just thinking in your own loops, you have a fresh sounding board of peers that really crack you open and say, okay, what if this, what if that? Yeah. So it's fun, it's exciting, it's adventure. It's not a curriculum. It's not front-driven input. That's what it's not is. People want an exercise and a to-do list. This is not for them. Yeah. People want to be involved and shape it. Here we are. That would be a good candidate to have.
Got it right. So actually, well, you're in the training business. I'm in the training business. It's a long time. You said it. There is one question that always comes back, which is, what's the return on learning? How would you measure that? Because this is really a big investment, both from a time point of view as well as from a monetary point of view. So how would you calculate that return on learning?
Yes, very good point. First of all, we touched a little bit on that already. I believe that if people become more engaged, they will be amazed how much they can get done in a day, how much they can get done in a 3-hour Zoom session. Yeah. So really much more drive, energy. And if you save time, that's a return on investment or return on the learning. The next one is really this creative ideas. If you are in this group and you throw your ideas around, there's a lot that you can pick up and implement in your work environment. Let's say you are a business owner or a freelancer. So the same, like you want to grab the attention of your peers for your idea, and it doesn't resonate with them, it bounces back and forth, that you can take the next day, the next week, and blend it into a pitch for a client or into a presentation for a stakeholder, and it will have more pull. So you can even have a rehearsal in the peer group before you even speak to that stakeholder. It should really be helpful. So more clarity, being better at communication. Maybe there is a list of additional people and business skills that we want to develop around that talent. People sometimes feel, oh, I'm good at that and that's it. I don't think that's enough. So there is a list of additional people and business skills. It's about 12 that I've put together in order to pick and choose from what helps me the most. And it's not learn them all. You pick one or two, and that affects the other areas because they're all linked, you know.
Click on the link to fill out the application. It's your chance to get on the waiting list and possibly accepted. There is no commitment at this stage. It's a selection process of carefully matched peer groups. Don't forget to subscribe to our email circle. The application has great questions, like a free mini coaching session how to discover your talents to become fully engaged and remarkable. Once accepted, you have 48 hours to commit or step aside from the waiting list.